Hi, this video I'm going to cover the topic of a new Diplexer we've added on to the tvtrade.ie website. It's the cover, it's a TFC 3537, and that means that it can cover, there's two inputs on this Diplexer, and it can cover channels from channel 2 to 35 on the first input and channel 37 to 39, and it effectively filters out any channels above that frequency on this one and below this frequency on this one here, okay? And there's a single combined output on it. Now traditionally the type of Diplexers we would have sold on the tvtrade.ie website would have been something like this, which would have been a VHF UHF combiner. So a VHF area goes in here, a UHF area here, and a single output out. But the advent of the new digital system and the fact that analog has been turned off means that this will be far less popular in the future. We'll have some very limited uses. So what's driving us to add on these things? Well, you know, if you want to work and pick up the signal for the new Serview system, it'll work. You just need a single aerial. There's no need to have a Diplexer on it. But the reason that you might want to go down this route is that in many parts of the country, it's possible to pick up from both Serview and from the Freeview system, okay? Mainly along the border and the East Coast. So what I've done on this single map here is we've put in a transmitter information page, and this is included on this Diplexer page under transmitter info. And we can see on this particular transmitter thing that we have the main transmitters in Ireland and the colour codes to say what band they're being broadcast in. So you know, basically at the bottom end of the UHF spectrum is red, the middle part is yellow, and the top end is green. And if the broadcasts cover a large part of that spectrum, it's as black. So you can see here that a large range of colour codes are being used here. So we have the transmitters in the Republic, which are Serview, and we also have transmitters in the North, which are part of the Freeview system, and also in Wales as well. There's a number of transmitters to work out as possibilities for us, okay, in terms of looking at receiving pictures. So it's very, very possible that people will want to go down the route of combining the input from Serview and Freeview onto a single receiver. Now, is this possible? Well, it's not possible to pick up the Serview pictures on an MPEG-2 Freeview receiver, but if you go for the MPEG-4 receivers, which are standard in Ireland, or the MPEG-4 receivers, which are standard for the high definition broadcasts in Freeview in the UK, it is possible. So you can have a single receiver, two aerials aiming in opposite directions, one to a Serview, one to a Freeview, feed a single cable down and have the Irish and the UK box channels on a single box. So this is a very, very attractive option to people. So just quickly to look, where is this an option? Well, you can see the shaded areas here in the Republic, okay? Now, equally, we haven't shown it, but there'll be shaded areas in the North as well where this would work, okay? And so we can see here that in certain parts, for a good distance of maybe 50 or 60 kilometers into the Republic, it's possible to pick up off transmitters, such as just outside Enniskillen here, and then equally along the East Coast for a shorter distance in, for Wexford, Wicklow, things like this. Now, there's a number of problems you can encounter in terms of interference between two different frequencies. So the reason that this Diplexer here is so good is it filters out totally the interference that you don't want, we'll say, above this band. So it means that even if there's even if the first aerial is aimed at a transmitter where there's frequencies in the background or something like this at a higher frequency above 35, they will be completely eliminated by this Diplexer, and equally on the input side coming from the other transmitter. So the two most, certainly the most common one you'd be using would be the 35-37, and that's because the 35 will cover the lower part of the spectrum, so things like the red transmitters here, and then the 37 up to 39, this could cover both the yellow and the greens, okay? So you can see here there's a large range of different transmitters where you can mix these things together. And now for certain circumstances, certain transmitters are broadcasting on higher up the frequency scale. So if we were trying to combine, we'll say, other ones, we might want to come along and instead of using the red aerial along with green and yellow, we might want to mix a yellow and a green together. And then we have a different Diplexer we'd use for this, which would be the 50-52, okay? So I won't go into too much depth in that particular one here, but if we scroll down further along the page here, we'll see that on the page here, we give the broadcasting frequencies for the Freeview, or for the range that cover the different muxes here. For the green ones are the ones that are based Serview ones in the Republic of Ireland, and the blue ones are the ones that are based in the north or over in Wales, okay? Now currently anyway, only the first mux is being used, so the only frequency you need to worry about currently is the first one in the range for the green ones, but this will change over time and more muxes, up to 4 muxes will be used, and in the UK it can be up to 6 muxes that are being used there, so it may well be the full spectrum here is being used. So we have that there, and then at the bottom here we give an examples of, in each of the following cases, the Freeview transmitter, the SareView transmitter, the input ranges on them, and what diplexer would be suitable for them, okay? So we can see here that in virtually all the locations there is a possibility for them. Now sometimes we'll say if you're trying to mix a Mount Leinster and well, along with Presley there from Wales, it may not be possible to do this simply because there's an overlap between the two frequencies. But you know, there are sub-transmitters that might get you around this problem here in the Republic, but sometimes it just won't be an option for people. And you know, you can still combine them here, but you'll lose certain channels from the UK and might be able to get the full range from the Republic in those circumstances here. But this product here, I think it'll be a very, very good seller for us. But because it's a little bit technical difficulty and it varies from place to place, it's a hard one to explain. We certainly put a lot of research and development into pulling together this page and choosing what diplexers to choose. But certainly between the 3537 will be the main one, and the other one then, the 52, I think between that it'll cover all places along the border on the east coast and should give a good range. Now the final point I'm going to make on this particular diplexer is, if we go to the top here, it's actually possible to buy a kit here that's designed for use for Irish Digital and UK combo kit, where you'll buy absolutely everything, the aerial, the pole, the bracket, the whole shebang, and you can simply buy it, and that should be sufficient for you to go and use it. Now we're recommending using color-coded aerials for this. It'll just improve the quality of the reception and make it easier to get a good reception on it. But the reality is, because of the filtering effects on the diplexer here, you can actually come along and use 2 black wideband aerials and it'll filter out above and below a certain frequency for you. So that's it, an overview of the Triax 3537 diplexer.